Hi everyone. So in this video, let's discuss categorical plots. So in the previous video, we have seen how you can just plot the continuous data using Seaborn. So in this video, let's see how you can just plot the categorical data using the Seaborn. So for that, first I just imported Seaborn as SNS, and after that you can see we have already seen in the previous video itself, like in the Seaborn itself we have some default datasets. So I'm just using Titanic dataset, and you can see the dataset here. So this is the dataset, and now let's try to plot the different kind of categorical plots on this dataset. First plot is bar plot. So in the matplotlib itself, we have seen how we can just plot the bar chart. So this bar chart is nothing but it will represent the categorical data in the form of bars. For example, let's say in this data set we have the categorical data as sex, embarked, class, who, adult, deck. All these are all these are the categorical variables. So if you just plot this data, right, if you just plot this variable using bar plot, what it will do means in the x-axis you will have the categories of that data of that variable, and in the y-axis you will be having mean of that variable, right? So this is a bar plot is a bivariate analysis. In the sense we can analyze two variables at a time, right? So that's why it's called as bivariate analysis. And now let's see how you can just plot this. So for that you can just use sns dot bar plot of, and in the x-axis I'm just giving df of sex, and in the y-axis I'm just giving df of age, right? So when you just give this and when I just run this, so you can see we got the both we can see in the x-axis we have the category. In this category we have two different types, right, male and female. So what it will do means in the x-axis it will just take the different categories which is present in that variable, and in the y-axis, since we just given age, right, since we just given age here, it will just calculate the mean of that age. So in the entire data set, like what's the average age of the male, and similarly in female it will just calculate the average age of the females. So that's why we just got, right, we just got these two plots. Now if we just check what's the df of sex and equal to male, right, I will just show you the average of the males so that you can understand. So when I just run this, you can see these are all the data in which the sex is the male, right? You can see all the data. These are all the data which is having sex as male, and in that we just want age, right? Age. So this is the age, and when I just, if you just do mean here, so you can see the mean of the ages of the males in the dataset is 30.72, around 30, right? So you can see even in the graph it's around 30, right? So that's the plot here. Similarly, when I just give female, so in the entire dataset the mean age of females is 27.9. so you can see that's what we just got here in the plot. So that's this bar plot. So you can see in the x-axis we just have the different categories, and in the y-axis whatever the category we just give, it will just calculate the mean of that. So that's this bar plot. And similarly we have few arguments as well in this, like as usual if you want to change the color, width of the bar, all those things, it's quite same as that of the matplotlib, the bar plot which we just seen in the matplotlib. And here we have another variable as hue, right? So when I just give let's try this hue as well. So I will give hue as embarked. So you can see I just given hue as embark. So now you can see the plot, right? We just have, so this is the previous plot and this is the other plot. So now you can see when you just give hue is equal to embark, what it will do means in this male, right? Again it will just divide this into subcategories. So this embarked in the sense these are the three different sections, right, in the ship, like S class, C class, as well as Q class. These are the three different classes in that ship. So what it will do means we have this male and age here, like we have the in x-axis we have this male and female, and in y-axis we have age, and it will just divide these male into three subcategories. So we have three different classes in MBAC. So for male it will just divide that into three, and similarly for female it will just divide that into three. So this blue color here which you are seeing is, this is the right, this is the average of the ages of male in S class. Similarly this orange is average of the males in C class, and here you can see this green represent, here the green represent uh, mean age of the females, the mean age of the females in the Q class. So what's the mean age of the females in the Q class? So that's this green represent here. So that's how you can just plot the bar plot, right? So I hope you got this. That's how useful it is, right? So that's how you can just plot the bar plot. And similarly next plot is count plot. So even this count plot is also a plot which will be useful to plot the categorical data. So now let's try to plot the SNS dot count plot of uh, so you can see I just given the same, I'm just using the same sex variable. So it will just show you what's the count of male and female in that, right? So you can see we are just given, since we just given sex, so we have two categories in that, male and female. And so you can see it will just plot the count of the male and as well as female using this count plot. That's this count plot. And similarly we have few arguments as well in this. You can see this is an univariate analysis, right? We're just able to, we are analyzing only single variable here, like the only one variable. And so that's this count plot. And similarly even in here you can just plot the whatever the count you just want, right? For example, you can just use the hue variable which we just used in here in the bar plot. In similar fashion you can just use it in the count plot as well. And if you want to change the colors, right, with same as usual, you can just do it with this count plot as well. So that's this count plot. And the next is box plot. So this box plot we have already discussed in matplotlib. While discussing the matplotlib, it will be useful to check whether if we have any outliers or not. So to plot this box plot, what you can just do is sns dot box plot of, so you can see this is the box plot. In x-axis we just given a sex, same we have two categories, male and female, and in the y-axis we just given the age. So it will just calculate, similarly it will just calculate the all the four quantiles, right, q1, q2, q3, and similarly it will just calculate the interquartile range. And it will just, you can see here we have three values, right? These are the outliers, right? So that's what you can just do it with a box plot. We can able to find the outliers. And if you want to see the complete explanation of this box plot, you can just, I've just already created a video on matplotlib, so you can just check it out there. And so this is how you can just plot the box plot, right? Like we can just use the box plot function in SNS, and we can just pass the variables or x and y variables. And similarly we have the violin plot as well. So in order to plot the violin plot, we can just use So this is the violin plot, right? So violin plot is nothing but it's similar to that of the box plot. Additional to the box plot, it will just give you the details of the distribution also. So you can see the distribution of the data, right? This is how the data is, the age of the males is distributed, right? And you can able to find the distribution as well apart from the box plot. That's this violin plot, right? So we have already seen, right? Even on the violin plot also I have created a separate video while discussing with matplotlib. So if you just want to understand this violin plot in depth, you can just watch that video. So that's it. So that's it for this video. So these are the 4 categorical plots which we use most common. So I hope you understood this video. In the next video we will discuss what are all the advanced level plots in Seaborn, right? Like we have heat map, like that we have some different kind of advanced level plots. So let's discuss that in the next video. So until then, I hope you like the video. If you feel this video is helpful, like the video, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And so until then, stay safe and thanks for watching.